Pretty privilege is real, but so is pretty punishment. And it is not just about how you look, it is not just about whether or not you're conventionally attractive. That's like one category of it. But I think it's also just about the halo effect. The fact that we as humans fragment ourselves and each other. So either it's gonna be okay, if you're beautiful, then you must also be a very kind person. Or if you're less attractive, less conventionally attractive, or if you're just not taking care of yourself, then it also must mean that you have very, very low self-worth, self-esteem. But we already do know rationally that that can't be true. We can't put those categories up because we're human. Just as you see like billionaires or something, in these paparazzi photos where they're just wearing really, really, really sloppy clothes. Like, you know that they're millionaires or billionaires. You know they have lots of money, but they don't look like it. So, like, that's just a very simplistic example of one person can be many things. One person can, look like they don't take care of themselves. And then they can be extremely self confident and love themselves. And someone who is, dressed up and have tons of makeup on, beautiful clothes, they can be extremely insecure, have extremely low self worth. They can also have high self worth and high self esteem. Like, you can't just make assumptions based on the physical things. You can't. I know that it's easy to do so, but it's not fair because we're human, so it doesn't matter what you look like. And when people say like, "Oh, you're attractive, you can't be lonely because everyone wants to be with you if you're attractive." Like, that's not the solution to loneliness. Loneliness is a lack of connection. Just because you might be someone who is attractive and who might get many offers or something, it doesn't mean that you can't be lonely. And then there's another side of it, that people who are very attractive, very beautiful, they might actually be approached a lot less by people because people become insecure. Like, they're scared to approach someone who's really, really attractive. Maybe you try to, see someone on the street that looks really, really good, and you just instantly like look down and feel really like humbled almost by their beauty. But that says more about you than it says about them. Because if you knew that, you know, we all struggle, we all have things that we're carrying, and even a beautiful person is still a human. Even a person who dresses nicely can be struggling. Like, it's not, you can't put um what's the word? You can't predict something from what you see physically. Um, yes, pretty people or attractive people, they have that privilege. They will in many instances be treated better because they look good. So people will see, okay, here is someone, they can physically see, here is someone who's taking care of themselves, here is someone who looks good. um, and that can start associations like, okay, this person must have a lot of money maybe to be able to, let's say, buy makeup, buy pretty clothes, um, whatever it might be that you're associating with that. But it just happens, I think, subconsciously, that we think, okay, here is a person who looks good. That means that here is worth, a lot of worth, a lot of value. And so pretty people might experience people like strangers or someone just being very accommodating, very kind, like holding the door for them or smiling to them or giving them a discount or like wanting to add more value because they see value. But you will also experience the opposite. You'll also experience that if you're beautiful, you will be catcalled a lot. You'll be objectified a lot. People want to be around you because you look good, but they actually don't want to connect to you. They don't want to know anything about you. They just see someone who's pretty and it becomes like a trophy. They want to be with you because, oh, I have someone beautiful next to me, so that rubs off on my ego. And I think it just all comes back to how physical the world is and how superficial the world is. That we think that the physical things and the external world is what is valuable. It is valuable if you look a certain way. And like you will always get judgment from people and from yourself. You can always find something to ridicule. If you're skinny, then you will be shamed for, being a skeleton. You will be asked to put on weight. And if you're fat, you'll be shamed for having too much fat and asked to lose some of that fat. Like, so you can never be enough for this world because we have equated, is that the word? Equated the physical things with value. And you see it in so many different instances, not just with how you look, but also with if someone has a nice big car or if someone has a lot of money, like how much do you have is not is not equal to how much value you have as a person. You're not any more human or any less human based on what you have or based on what you look like. And it's so strange to have to sit and say this. It's so strange that it's not more talked about. It's so strange that we have normalized it so much that I feel like I'm saying something that is so obvious that we all know, but we're still contributing to it. We're still in this mindset that some people are worth more than others. And either you will, meet someone who, you will meet people who either see more value or less value. We're never equal somehow. It's never just about connecting, getting to know each other, being in like a give and take, being in just each other's presence and wanting to know this person. It's always like, does this give me value? Like, is this valuable or is this worthless? And how does that affect my ego? What can I gain from it? And so people will either be like, is this worthy or is this worthless? And they'll act in different ways. They'll either be like, here's something that is worthy, let me destroy it. Let me ruin it because it reminds me of how worthless I feel. They'll see a pretty person and they will call them ugly and try to rip their self-esteem or self-worth apart because they don't understand that person is not worth more. It's not worth less. They're worth the same. But you think they're worth more, so you think you have to pull them down. But you're not pulling them down from the pedestal. You're trying to trot them down beneath you because they're just humans as well. So what you're doing to others, you're doing that to yourself. And you're also setting expectations. If you have that expectation that or have that assumption that other people are not people, or that other people are less or more human, then that's also the attitude you have towards yourself. So either you'll be like, here's some worth, let me destroy it, which is a way you're saying, let me make you less human. Because I don't want to see you as an equal. I don't want to see you as a fellow human. I don't want to see that you are a whole person with lots of different aspects. You're not just one thing. Or they will be like, here is something that is worthy. Let me bring it up. Let me idealize it. Let me put it on a pedestal. Let me see how I can get something from it. Let me see how I can make myself more by being in the presence of this person. So you're always trying to either push others or yourself down, or bring others and yourself up and be more than human, almost. And it all comes down to shame. It all comes down to when you see someone who has qualities that you are envious of, or you're jealous of, something that you want to be pretty, or you want to be successful, you want that, and you feel you don't have it, you have so much shame about yourself. So you need to make them feel that same shame. But they might already feel that shame. They might already feel not enough. And you trying to put other people down is not making the world a better place. And it's not making your own, internal world a better place either. Or if you're someone who sees value and thinks, oh, here's something that I can benefit from. If I put value into this valuable thing, this valuable person, then I will be more valuable. And that's again shame, because you don't feel valuable, because you don't feel enough. So you need someone else that can bring you up, that can make you more. So it all comes down to, which I've talked about so many times, not acknowledging that you don't feel good enough, not acknowledging that other people also struggle with their self-worth. Other people also don't feel good enough. Like, they're not God. They're not above you. They're not worth more. If you see someone who is attractive, they're not worth more than you. They don't have a higher self-esteem or self-worth necessarily. They might have, but they might not have. You can't assume it based on what you see. And the world is so superficial. So we think that if we see something valuable, we have something valuable, and other people see we have that value, then we're worth more. And then the more we feed into that, the more we also encourage others to do the same, instead of actually figuring out what is valuable to me, like what really matters actually. Because what we look like and the things we have, we can lose it. We will lose it at one point. Everything you are and everything you have, you will lose. And what is left is just what's in here. Nothing else, nothing else is reliable. Even people who are very, very rich can suddenly lose all their money. Does that make them less worthy suddenly? No. Someone who is really, really beautiful, really, really attractive, they can get into a horrible accident. They will age. They will age. Like, that beauty will fade at some point. Or we can just acknowledge the fact that the physical things does not define what is inside us, does not define our self-worth. And if we rely on that to feel enough, that is also not good. Because again, it's fleeting. It's not a secure place to anchor ourselves. But the world is a superficial place, and the sad thing is that even when you try, even if you're, or when you're on a journey of loving yourself and feeling enough on the inside, um, that will also show up physically. That will show up in how you carry yourself. Like, people will see that, and then they will hate you for it, because they see fragments. They see someone who carries themselves, so they assume that you're full of yourself, that you can't also be very, very humble, for instance, or that ability to carry yourself comes from a deep sense of self-worth, and that self-worth remains no matter how you look like on the outside, or how you carry yourself. But people will assume that, okay, you're very, very, very grandiose if you show any signs of self-love or self-worth. So you can't win even when you anchor yourself in your self-worth and not in the external things. It's still never appreciated. It's never valued. It's still all comes down to what people see, and like what is physical. I think that means that the world becomes a very, very, very lonely place when we think we have to relate based on physical things. Yeah, it becomes a really, really lonely place, and a place of a lot of misunderstanding each other, instead of trying to understand each other, instead of trying to meet each other, like in here,